Auto. Yeah, Auto.
The Jones in the air for Cardi.
Young surfboard in here with me. HGA. Can't go back. Used to touch that. Can't go back. Can't I know what's going on right about now. Looking at the sky.
What's going on, guys?
But y'all should anyway.
Welcome back
Sounds like
to the channel.
do it.
Clemson rolling. Y'all know it's November. It's time to get it rolling. It's championship phase, and Clemson is looking just like they did last year, if not better on defense. And that's just the facts. Now, our little brothers, on the other hand, things aren't going as smooth for them. Down in Columbia right now, man, things are an absolute train wreck. A lot of people don't like Muschamp, and I can understand it. He's not the most likable guy, but you have to feel bad for him in this situation that's going on down there. And, I worked, random fact, I worked in the athletic department, technically for the University of South Carolina. Upstate was a separate branch, but they were overseen by the Columbia branch as far as athletic departments are concerned, and we had some stuff kind of like this happen. It didn't really make as much news because we're Division I, but we're smaller. And so this is not something that's new at the University of South Carolina. Now, luckily, they straightened things out, hired a good coach at Upstate, but it wasn't this bad. So, the president comes out, this new president, there was controversy surrounding this guy, all right? There's already controversy surrounding him when he got hired. So he comes out here, and, they support Muschamp for a while. They were still saying they support him and all that good stuff. And then he comes out and things start to sound a little weird. He's my coach for the rest of the season. Starts talking about just dropping hints that he might not be sticking around. And now this controversy coming out that they've been talking to Florida State. My Lord, guys, why would anybody talk to Florida State? Do they really think Florida State is the standard or a program that's handled these type of things well? I mean, I like it. That's two of our biggest rivals, top 4 rivals for sure right there. They can, we're enjoying it. I mean, it hurts our strength of schedule, sure, but these guys are all idiots. Coming out and asking for help. What is that? I mean, Muschamp knows he's done. And then he says, we'll reevaluate if we get embarrassed by Clemson. What do y'all think is going to happen? You haven't been able to keep a team healthy in years. That goes to that. I mean, there's obviously some freak accidents that happen, but when the whole team is continuously getting hurt, that's on the program itself. There's just no chance that they're going to keep it close with Clemson. So then you just know all indications are pointing towards Muschamp being fired. So, he's sitting there knowing that his job is pretty much done. There is no way that they're going to keep it close in Columbia when Clemson turns the stadium orange at our home away from home. We don't like to claim it. But there's just no way it's going to happen. So this man, he's a dead man walking. He's going to be a defensive coordinator somewhere next year. Clemson fans, we sure hope he stays. We do. I mean, we hope he stays. But guys, how bad can an administration be? Ray Tanner should have never been the athletic director down there. That was a disaster waiting to happen. Things have only gone downhill since. Yeah, your women's basketball program has gotten better. They've won a national championship, but that's about it. Baseball's gone downhill. Basketball's been steady. They had one good year and have been horrible every other year. Take that. Cinderella run, but horrible. I don't think they've made another tournament. Just that one under Frank. So the athletic department outside of the non-revenue women's sports is a disaster. But there doesn't seem to be any accountability down there. So, hey, I'm happy. I'm happy Clemson will continue to dominate the revenue sports. That's cool with me. I want Clemson to beat everybody in all our sports. But if you have to be good at something, you'd rather it be football than, water polo or volleyball or something like that. But, you want all of them to be good. But that being said, man, things are going to get bad. You look at South Carolina, and there's no way that offense is probably going to score a point. Now, we know Dabo is going to take out the starters late. I won't say he's not going to. What they call running the score up, like I don't call it running the score up if your starters aren't in, but our backups will continue to try to score. Clemson could score 60 if we wanted to, but we're probably going to hold off in the upper 40s, lower 50s. South Carolina against our second string is going to be the big challenge. That's going to be the most entertainment. Will South Carolina's second string, or will South Carolina starters score on our second string late in the game to score a point? Because unless something crazy happens, this is going to be a shutout, and it's going to be bad. I mean, Tennessee has had some embarrassing situations like this, but I can't even recall if they've had anything that's been in the media like, okay, yeah, we're talking to other schools about how to get rid of you. And this is after he had already come out and stated there's plenty of other things that this money could go towards. We need a new parking garage. You need a lot. They've done a lot down there in Columbia to help, make it not look like a dump around the stadium. But, man, this has just been crazy. So Clemson will roll. We'll get to the ACC championship. Let's talk about the college football playoff for a second. The rankings, all that good stuff. So Clemson coming in at number 3 right now. Doesn't look like things are going to change if LSU and Ohio State keep winning, which there's a good chance that that'll happen, but there's also a good chance that that might not. Both of them have we all know Clemson's schedule is not very tough. Both of them have much tougher routes to the championship. Ohio State's going to have to play Penn State, who's not great, but it's better than anybody we play left. And LSU obviously going to be playing Georgia, and they do have Texas A&M left, but that'll probably be a shootout. Shoot, if A&M scored 28 points on Alabama, they're going to put up probably 40 on LSU. LSU, y'all, the SEC elites, Alabama and LSU. That's really it. Georgia can claim they're elite all they want, but they're not as good as those two teams. They have turned full Big 12. I mean, full Big 12. This is the stuff that they made fun of everybody for years. It's the reason they said Oklahoma couldn't win it in the current era and all that good stuff. Y'all are glorified Big 12 teams. That's why neither of you are going to win the championship this year. Alabama's not even going to get the chance. And I hate to see what happened to Tua. Tua is one of those players, and Jalen Hurts too, both of them are players that you can't pull against. It doesn't matter if you hate Alabama, it doesn't. You just can't. They're good people, but without Tua, man, Alabama, they're done. They're done. Then you got the opposite spectrum, teams with no offense, and that's Georgia. Georgia, and it's like South Carolina, who they lost to. Unless something freaky happened, Georgia could not score a point on Clemson starters. Not a point. Now, yes, they would hold Clemson to well under our average offensive status, but, I mean, you'd be looking at probably like a 24-0 Clemson win. Probably look like that 31-0 win against Ohio State, because Georgia cannot, you're not going to run the ball in Brent Venables, and that's all they got. So, just looking at these playoff standings, the SEC bias in the committee is absolutely real. Auburn is not a good team, yet they're ranked in the top 15. Florida struggles with almost everybody, yet they're number, 11 or 12? So now Georgia can look at those. It's what puts Georgia in the top 4. And then there's no doubt in my mind that both Oregon and Utah are better than Georgia. Now, yes, Oregon lost to Auburn, but that was the first game of the year. Injured players. Things would be different now. But, if you're listening, they are it looks like they're making it where Oregon and Utah are going to jump Alabama to get that 4th spot if things hold up. Because, obviously Georgia and LSU can't win. Who knows how the committee could screw this up. If Georgia does beat LSU, they're probably still going to sneak LSU in, try to get 2 SEC teams in, leave teams that could be better out. The playoff situation, I agree with some of the people who say that there should be some rules. You should have to win your division and probably your conference. In every sport, you can say, well, this team was playing better there, but there are rules in place This is just bias. You know, it's a beauty show. There's no rules to it, and there's no way to determine who the best teams are in the current format. So it'll be interesting to see how things move going forward. It was also interesting to see just the way things change. You know, in previous years, there hasn't been any respect for the group of 5 teams. This year, what is there, 4 or 5 group of 5 teams ranked? That's got to be a record. It's something that hasn't happened in previous years. There seems to be random respect for different conferences. The Big 12's been getting a good bit of ranked teams in. You got Iowa State ranked. Who else was it? I think Kansas State still is ranked. Texas was moved up big time. Obviously, they're out now at 6-4. And then the ACC, which I know it's not good, but the Big 12 hasn't done anything to really prove to be a better conference, yet they're getting all these ranked teams. Virginia Tech, Virginia, and Pitt are all unranked at 7-3, while these Big 12 teams with similar resumes are ranked. So it's just the rankings, each year it's different because, you know, you have different committee members. So each year it's different. Something has got to be done to make it consistent, because it's painful to watch these rankings. It's like they just randomly draw out of a hat for most of them. It's worse than the BCS. Had we just used the BCS to choose the top 4 teams for the playoff, in my opinion, those rankings were much better. So that I just want to get on here, update, talk about South Carolina a little bit, because it's always fun. We're going to smoke these guys, smoke them soon. So we'll get on and see what's going on as we get ready to play either Virginia Tech, Pitt, or Virginia in the ACC Championship in Charlotte. Clemson's home away from home, just like Columbia, and get ready for this college football playoff. It doesn't matter who's going to show up against us, guys. Clemson's going to win. It doesn't matter who y'all send. We going to win. 2 in a row coming. Go Tigers.